Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Imagine you're sitting quietly. Maybe you're having a tough day, or you're lost in your own thoughts. And then, without warning, a cat comes up to you. It doesn't ask for food. It doesn't want to play. It just sits near you, looks straight into your eyes, maybe even rests beside you, as if it knows something you don't. Could this be random? Maybe. Or maybe, just maybe, this is a sign. A divine message, wrapped in fur, paws, and silence. In Islam, nothing happens without purpose. No leaf falls except by His permission. So what if a cat's presence is Allah's way of reaching you? What if that quiet moment is louder than all your worries combined? Today, we explore 7 powerful messages from Allah that may come when a cat unexpectedly approaches you. And by the end of this video, you might look at your next encounter with a cat very differently. Have you ever had a cat come to you out of nowhere when you needed comfort the most? What do you think it meant? Drop your story in the comments. You never know who might need to read it today. Share a personal moment where a cat's presence felt spiritual, healing, or deeply strange. What was going on in your life at that time? Let's talk in the comments. Your story might open someone's heart. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publications on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Message number 1. Mercy is near. Cats are not just animals in Islam. They are symbols of Rahmah, mercy. The Prophet Muhammad had a deep affection for cats. His cat, Mu'ezza, was so beloved that one day when the Prophet found Mu'ezza sleeping on his sleeve, he cut the sleeve off rather than disturb the cat's sleep. That moment wasn't just a gesture of kindness. It was a reflection of a heart filled with divine mercy. Allah tells us in the Quran, "And we have not sent you, O Muhammad, except as a mercy to the worlds." Surah Al-Anbiya 21:107. Mercy is the essence of Islam. It's not always found in grand miracles. Sometimes it walks up quietly, on soft paws. In Gaza, where buildings crumble and chaos echoes, a man is seen daily wandering with a bag of breadcrumbs and bits of meat, not for himself, but for the stray cats that survived the destruction. When asked why, he said, "Even in war, someone has to remember mercy." One day, while resting among ruins, a cat came and curled on his chest, not for warmth, but perhaps as a sign that Allah saw his mercy and returned it. Maybe that's why a cat comes near you too, not to take, but to remind you, mercy is still near. Maybe you're going through heartbreak, financial stress, or silent pain, and suddenly a creature so small rests beside you with total trust. It might be Allah's way of saying, "I am still here, and I still send mercy." Have you ever felt mercy during a chaotic or painful moment, even from an animal? Tell us your story. Your reflection could remind someone that Allah's mercy always finds a way. Was there a time when an animal comforted you during grief, illness, war, or loneliness? Share your experience below. It might touch more hearts than you realize. Message number 2. You are being watched, even when you feel invisible. Have you ever felt like no one sees you? Not just physically, but emotionally? You're in a room, but no one really notices your silence. You pass through days, but no one asks how your heart is holding up. And then, without warning, a cat walks over. It doesn't speak. It doesn't stare for attention. It just notices you. In Islam, we are taught that Allah is never unaware of His creation. He is with you wherever you are. Surah Al-Hadid 57:4. When the world overlooks you, Allah doesn't. There's a story from a Syrian refugee camp. A young girl, around 9 years old, said, "We lost our home. My parents cry a lot. People pass by us every day. But there was a cat that always sat next to me under the tent. It didn't ask for food. It just sat beside me. And I told it all my secrets. It was like it saw me when no one else did." That cat didn't come for a treat. It came as a witness, a quiet sign from the unseen that this little girl was not forgotten. So maybe that cat that came to you during your lowest moment wasn't looking for anything at all. Maybe it was there for you. A message from Allah whispering through silence. I see you. I have never left you. Cats are naturally drawn to calm, observant souls, and also to those who are quietly hurting. So the next time you feel invisible, and a cat comes to sit by you, don't brush it off. Look deeper. That moment may be sacred. Have you ever felt truly seen by a person, by an animal, right when you needed it most? Could it have been a quiet comfort from Allah? Share your story in the comments. If an animal, especially a cat, ever comforted you in a moment of sadness, tell us what was going on in your life. Your story could give someone else hope today. Message number 3, a test of kindness. Sometimes the greatest tests from Allah don't come in the form of pain. They come quietly, on soft paws. A cat walks up to you, not because it's hungry, not because it wants to play, just to be near you. What will you do? In Islam, even small moments are loaded with meaning. A gesture of compassion, or its absence, can echo into the hereafter. The Prophet Muhammad told us about a woman who entered hell, not because she harmed others, but because she imprisoned a cat and didn't feed it. A cat. Something we might overlook, but Allah didn't. On the other hand, every small kindness is recorded. Sometimes the test isn't loud. It's quiet and soft and watching. In Istanbul, there's a man who lost his business, home, and family in an earthquake. He now sleeps in a small shelter, yet every day he sets aside meat for stray cats. When asked why, he simply said, "I lost everything, except my ability to give." He said feeding the cats gave him peace, as if every bite they took was a way for him to hold on to faith and pass a silent test. So maybe when a cat approaches you, Allah isn't asking you to save the world. Maybe He's just watching how your heart responds to something gentle. Will you care? Will you notice? Will you pass this quiet test of kindness? Would you pass this test? Has a small act of mercy to a person or an animal ever changed your life or brought you peace? Tell us below. When was the last time you showed kindness when no one was watching? Did something or someone, maybe even an animal, help remind you of who you really are? Message number 4. You are not alone. There's a kind of loneliness that doesn't always look like sadness. It shows up in quiet homes, in empty chairs, in unanswered messages. And sometimes, just when you feel forgotten by the world, a small soul shows up. A cat. It doesn't speak your language. It doesn't have answers, but it stays. And sometimes, that's all you needed. The Quran says, indeed, the help of Allah is near. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:214. Not all help comes with big signs or miracles. Sometimes it comes as a quiet presence that reminds you, you are not alone. During the COVID-19 lockdowns, millions of people around the world sat alone in their homes. One elderly man in Italy, whose wife had passed years before, said a cat began sitting on his window each morning. He started leaving out milk, then food. Then they'd sit quietly together. He said, "That cat stayed with me for months. I don't know where it came from, but I felt like someone sent it." In Turkey, dozens of isolated elders shared similar stories. Cats just began appearing. One woman said, "It would wait by my door like it knew I needed company. I felt like Allah was taking care of me, through a creature no one else noticed." Maybe that's why a cat comes to you during heartbreak, or grief, or anxiety, not as a pet, but as a message, a soft reminder that Allah hasn't left you and never will. Because even when the whole world forgets you, Allah never does. Have you ever felt that Allah sent something or someone to pull you out of loneliness? A pet, a friend, a stranger? Share your story below. It might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If you've ever felt deeply alone and found comfort through an unexpected presence, especially an animal, tell us. Was there something divine about that moment? Message number 5. Gratitude in small things. Sometimes Allah's blessings don't shout. They whisper, in the soft rhythm of a purring cat, in the quiet warmth of something small, something alive, resting beside you. These are gifts that many overlook, but for the grateful heart, they mean everything. Allah says in the Quran, "If you are grateful, I will surely increase you in favor." Surah Ibrahim 14:7. A cat curling up beside you might not seem like much, but in that simple moment is comfort, warmth, company, and even joy. In Morocco, a young homeless boy once said he had nothing to sleep with during a bitter cold night. No blanket, no fire, just pavement and fear. But then, a stray cat crawled beside him and laid across his chest. They slept like that until morning. When asked what that night felt like, he said, "That night I felt rich." He had no money, no home, but he had a moment of mercy and he was grateful for it. Sometimes gratitude isn't about what's missing, it's about what's still present. A breath, a heartbeat, a cat that chose you. Maybe Allah sent it to remind you that even in the smallest things, there's still beauty.
What's the smallest thing that ever made you feel grateful in a big way? Something that shifted your whole mindset? Share your moment in the comments. Was there a moment where you felt joy or comfort from something others might overlook, like an animal, a gesture, or a peaceful silence? Tell us what it was and how it changed you. Message number 6, a guardian sent from the unseen. Some say animals sense things we cannot. In Islam, cats are seen as tahir, pure. They are allowed to roam the house, walk through prayer spaces, even drink from your water, and that water is still clean. Unlike dogs, which angels avoid entering homes with, cats were never restricted. Why? Because their presence is gentle and perhaps guided. Some scholars believe cats can perceive what the human eye cannot, from shifts in spiritual energy to unseen presences. Maybe that sudden visit from a cat wasn't random. Maybe it was a guardian. One woman shared a story from a home in Indonesia. She had gone to sleep feeling fine, but in the middle of the night, her cat jumped onto her chest, not to cuddle, but to sit firmly, almost pressing her down. She tried to move it, but it wouldn't budge. Finally, discomfort turned into panic. She was rushed to the hospital, and doctors confirmed she had suffered a minor cardiac event. The weight of the cat on her chest, it slowed her heart rate and may have saved her life. She said, "That night I realized Allah sends protectors in ways we don't always expect." So maybe when your cat suddenly stares at something unseen, or refuses to leave your side, or blocks your path, it's not just animal behavior. Maybe they're sensing something from the unseen and standing between you and harm. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not real. And just because the cat didn't speak doesn't mean it wasn't sent. Do you believe animals can sense the unseen? Have you ever experienced a moment when a pet protected you Emotionally, physically, or spiritually? Share your story below. It might help someone trust their instinct again. If a cat, or any animal, ever did something strange that later made sense, tell us what happened. Did it protect you? Warn you? Bring you comfort when you didn't understand why? Message number 7. A reminder to reflect. Life moves fast. Deadlines, notifications, worry, regret. We scroll, we stress, we sprint, and sometimes we forget to simply be. But then, something interrupts that rhythm. A cat. It doesn't need anything. It just sits beside you, watching, waiting. Maybe that moment isn't about the cat. Maybe it's about you. Allah says in the Quran, "So which of the favors of your Lord would you deny?" Surah Ar-Rahman. In the rush of life, sometimes Allah sends something quiet, gentle, and alive to remind you, slow down, look around, breathe. One woman shared that she was overwhelmed, mid-argument, mid-tears, sitting alone in her kitchen. Her cat walked in, hopped onto the table, and just stared at her. Not in fear, not in judgment, just a look, a pause, like Allah saying, "This moment doesn't have to break you." She said, "It was like someone hit pause on my sadness, just long enough for me to breathe." That's what cats do sometimes. They interrupt the noise. They force presence. They don't ask for more than a moment. But in that moment, they may be a sign, a soft nudge from Allah to return, to reflect, to remember. Have you ever had a moment where something or someone made you stop and reflect when you needed it most? A cat, a stranger, a breeze. Share your moment below. Your story might be that pause for someone else. Closing message. Cats and the spiritual mirror in Islam. Cats are not just animals. They are companions of peace, symbols of mercy, and sometimes quiet messengers from the unseen. But maybe most of all, cats are mirrors. They reflect the state of your heart, your patience, your compassion, your willingness to notice the small, sacred things Allah places in your path. The Prophet Muhammad loved cats. He didn't just tolerate them, he cherished them. He even allowed a cat to sleep on his robe, and when he rose for prayer, he cut the fabric around it rather than disturb its rest. Why? Because mercy isn't just about big moments. It's about how you treat what the world calls small. A cat coming close to you might not be looking for food or warmth or attention. Maybe it's looking for you, to test your kindness, to comfort your loneliness, to remind you of Allah's mercy, or to simply be a sign that you are not forgotten. These moments matter. Don't miss them. Have you ever had a cat come close to you, and it meant something deeper? Mercy, healing, comfort, even protection? Let us know in the comments. Your story might be the message someone else is praying for. If this video was helpful to you, please share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you learned.